we go. Okay. Welcome everyone to our webinar on IPE-SHINES, Interprofessional Education Supporting High Intensity Needs of Exceptional Students. This is an OSEP funded interdisciplinary preparation special education training grant. And the purpose of this webinar is to, you can do that, is to talk to you, provide an overview of the program and the requirements for the program as well. Can you go to the next slide? Do that. Sorry. So IPE-SHINES will prepare 22 scholars. 11 of those will be pursuing their master's in speech language pathology, and 11 of those will be pursuing their master's in applied behavior analysis. The scholars from both programs will gain expertise in interdisciplinary collaboration and also become equipped to work with elementary age students with high intensity needs, including autism. The scholars will participate together in interdisciplinary coursework, collaborative case studies, integrated field placement, and ongoing professional development throughout the program. You can do next slide.
That's it.
Graduates will be prepared to become speech language pathologists or board certified behavior analysts with expertise in the provision of services through interdisciplinary collaboration in school settings. And this purpose of this training grant is to address a national need for both SLPs and BCBAs who have the skills and knowledge to be able to collaborate with those outside of their profession and to provide high quality services grounded in evidence-based practices for students with high intensity needs across a variety of settings. The faculty for IPE-SHINES include myself, Rose Mason. I am an associate professor in the College of Education and also the coordinator for the Applied Behavior Analysis program. And then Chanel, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I am also IPE-SHINES faculty. My name is Chanel Laudermill, and I am a clinical professor and the director of clinical education for the speech language pathology program. I am in the Department of Speech, Language, and Hearing Sciences.
Thanks. And then also on our team are Mandy Rispoli, who is a professor in the College of Education, and she also teaches in our ABA program. And then we also have Jasmine Mageski, who is an instructor in the College of Education, and her role on IPE-SHINES will be providing the instruction and practicum experiences specifically related to provision of special education services in schools and collaborating with teachers and families to plan services. In addition to our faculty, we also have an advisory board. The advisory board will guide us in the development of our practicum experiences and professional seminars. And particularly, they will first look at what we have developed and give us feedback. They will also be providing lectures throughout the two-year program. Each of them have agreed to provide at least one lecture every 2 years in the program. Our advisory board includes 2 national experts. So Dr. Brian Boyd is professor and director at University of Kansas Lifespan Institute, Juniper Gardens Children's Project. And Dr. Jessica Franco is a speech language pathologist and board certified behavior analyst and a professor at the University of Texas at Austin. In addition to those 2, we also have 2 community stakeholders, and that is Angelita Giles and Andrea Gilkison. Both of them are parents of children with autism. And then we also have 2, well, those are our 2 parents. We have 2 community stakeholders as well. And that is Kelly Gaybauer. She's a director of special education services. And then also Barbara Weber is a speech language pathologist, as well as a board certified behavior analyst who is a private practitioner. So, and the purpose of the advisory board is to help our scholars understand how important interprofessional education is for providing for serving our students with disabilities. Chanel.
So I will review the IPE-SHINE program components. So as we developed this program, the overarching goal was to improve outcomes of students with high intensity needs. And in thinking about how to accomplish that goal, there were 5 areas that we knew we needed to cover. Those areas include interprofessional collaboration and teamwork, values and ethics of interprofessional practice, ensuring that you all were able to identify the roles and responsibilities as they relate to the profession, incorporate high leverage practices, and also use culturally responsive practices when providing services for children with high intensity needs. The interprofessional coursework for students, for IPE-SHINE scholars, is listed on this slide. So in both programs, you will follow the regular scheduled program, those regularly scheduled courses. And then additional courses for MSSLP students include courses within the ABA program. Those courses include behavior consultation and systems change, foundations of applied behavior analysis, verbal behavior and social communication, and single subject research design. Additionally, your practicums will be interprofessional as well, and so you will sign up for those interprofessional practicums. Additional courses for students in the ABA program include language disorders in children, autism spectrum disorders, school methods, and augmentative and alternative communication. Also, practicums for scholars in the ABA program will be interprofessional as well. So the interprofessional practicums are listed here. So you will start out in the Birth to 3 program and during the first semester, move to the preschool language program. Then you will have a community placement and conduct team assessments. Then you will have a placement in our social skills group that takes place on campus in Laus Porter Hall, and also engage in your educational externship at an elementary school. Scholars will also participate in professional practice seminars. So these will occur at least one time a month, and they will be provided by IPE-SHINES faculty and the advisory board during the academic year. Some of those lectures include have a focus on justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. Those lectures will include you being trained on multidisciplinary assessments such as functional behavior assessments, ADOS trainings, VB-MAP, special education eligibility assessments. Those seminars will also focus on collaborative teamwork, providing culturally responsive assessment and intervention throughout your program, consulting and training others, and using coaching and telehealth. And you will also participate in monthly Purdue Autism Research, our colloquia, and you will have an opportunity to attend the annual Multidisciplinary Park Research Conference. Additionally, scholarly activity is embedded throughout the program, and you all will be able to participate in lots of scholarly activity. Some of that scholarly activity could be critically evaluating research, having an opportunity to disseminate your own research, and professional engagement as you learn to review articles and review your peer assignments. You will also have access to faculty mentors. The assigned faculty mentor will come from your respective program. And as a part of the faculty mentoring process, you will meet once a semester or as needed with your faculty mentor. In those meetings, you will develop goals and action plans and review your progress as an IPE-SHINES scholar. And your mentor will provide you feedback regarding your progress in the program. And we will also provide support for the diverse needs of each individual when out in our program.
Okay, thanks, Chanel. So the next thing we're going to talk about are the admissions requirements, as well as the funding components of IPE-SHINES. So the admission requirements, first you have to meet the requirements for the Purdue Graduate School and each respective department. And then in addition to meeting those requirements, you have to have an undergrad GPA of 3.25 or higher. We will also conduct admissions interviews with potential scholars for this program. You need to demonstrate experience working with children with disabilities through employment and or volunteer work in education or community organizations, and also express interest in working in educational settings to support students with disabilities and high intensity needs, and demonstrate a commitment to working with children from traditionally underserved populations. I just want to point out here for these three things, if you have not completed your application yet, that you'll want to make sure you're speaking to these three criteria: the experience working with children with disabilities, interest in working in educational settings, and commitment to working with children from traditionally underserved populations. You'll want to speak to those in your statement of purpose and how you intend to do this. So the funding package, the length of both programs is 2 years. You can receive funding for 2 years. The OSEP grant fellowship will cover tuition and fees. They'll be covered in full for 2 years. Additionally, you will be provided with a monthly stipend. The monthly stipend is small, but nonetheless, it is a stipend. Chanel, do you remember how much it is?
I do not remember the exact amount.
It might be better. It's not a lot. I will tell you that. So in addition to the monthly stipend and the tuition and fees paid in full, we will also, the program will also cover the fees for specialized assessment and training in a variety of assessment protocols, including the VB map, and also the autism diagnostics and observation system, which is for the diagnosis of autism, and the STAR curriculum as well. We will also provide tools for technology. The funds will also cover the cost of tools for technology and general supplies, and those will be provided more globally, but iPads and also apps, AAC, augmentative assistive communication applications on the iPad, so that you can get experience at utilizing those in the practicums. So for your application, you have to apply to your respective program. So if you're interested in the Master's of Science in ABA, then you have to apply to the ABA program through the College of Education. The deadline for that is April 1st for consideration for fall admission. And then the applications for the speech program, the information is here. They use an online application system. And once you apply to that, then we will review applications. If you're accepted into the program, then we will go to the next step of considering you for the OSEP grant. But be sure in your application to indicate your interest in the OSEP IPE-SHINES program in your personal statement.
I will add that the deadline for applying for the fall semester is January 15th. So if you are interested, be sure to get your application materials in before that deadline.
Thanks, Chanel. And that January 15th, to clarify, is for the speech program. And April 1st is the deadline for the ABA program. So the funding does require have a service obligation, and what that means is that you will to receive the funding, not to receive the funding. As a result of receiving the funding, you are required to work 2 years for every year of funding you receive. So your expected obligation will be about 4 years, and you have that work has to be in a field that is related to the purposes of IPE-SHINES. So working at either speech language pathology or an applied behavior analysis, so as a BCBA or an SLP, providing services to individuals with disabilities in K through 6 settings with high intensity needs. So I just want to add for the service obligation that if you don't meet the service obligations, then you do have to pay back whatever portion you didn't cover with the service obligation. So that is a basic overview of the IPE-SHINE program. If you have questions, we do encourage you to reach out to us. Both Chanel and I and Dr. Rispoli are very happy to answer your questions. If you have questions specifically related to the ABA program, you can contact me. My email address is here. And if you have questions specifically related to speech language program, you can contact Chanel, and her email is listed as well. And Mandy is for the ABA program. So we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Stop the recording.